My name's Rebecca Hill and I live and farm in Dorset near Blandford at Northwest Farm, Winterbourne, Kingston. We're a family farm of 4 generations and we farm 1,250 acres of arable, of which 500 acres is owner occupied and the remaining is share farmed and contract farmed and FBTs and all the myriad of agreements that you could possibly get. We moved here in 1979 following the death of my great-grandfather. So we inherited the farm from him, and in '79 we had beef and sheep, and I went away to college, and when I came back from college I was in charge of running the flock of 700 lowland sheep and rearing 150 heads of calves. And 4 or 5 years ago I gave up the sheep. They'd bashed my knees one too many times, and they had a habit of every time I went away the sheep would get out. But we've diversified in that we've converted a range of farm buildings. So we've got upwards of 14 other businesses operating out of the farmyard. So my father was an inspirational character, and he passed away when he was 54 years of age. I was his shadow for all the time he was with me, and he still lives on, hopefully vicariously, with what I do. It was a really difficult time and period. The death of my father was in the middle of harvest. We need space to be able to grieve, but I think in lots of ways the farming and continuing farming and having a purpose gets a lot of farmers through that stage in their life. We all want to farm without subsidy, ideally, but what the BPS, single farm payment, IACS, all the transitional stuff that we have been through enabled was just a little bit of security. We plant trees, we have had wild bird cover for the last 30 years. All our hedges are in good repair. So it's frustrating that when we're told off that we're not doing enough. Highs and lows, God, that's a difficult one. 3 or 4 years ago when we hit just under £300 a tonne, I didn't have enough of it to sell. 2012, definitely, when we didn't actually have tonnage in the barn to get those high prices, and that was really hard. So, my father, without doubt, and a group of people, and that's my Nuffield family. That's a tough one. To be able to park your stresses, to be able to not take on other people's stresses too much, and try to get that sleep at night. Is producing a crop and looking after your bit of England to the best of your ability. How some elements of the press view farming and the negativity that we are seeing, especially at the moment. I try not to dwell on mistakes, so that's a hard one. We move on. Being a mum, but also running a business at the same time and getting to the other end with 2 children that still want to talk to me and are very personable. You You have to understand your figures. You have to understand the frustrations of weather. You need to be empathetic and understanding and be a team leader if you're running a team. And trying not to let yourself get down too low if the lows are tough, and enjoying friends. Machinery is not the thing that floats my boat. The cost of it is ridiculous, and the depreciation, I'd much rather have something that appreciated in life rather than depreciated. So here at Northwest Farm, we're about 7 miles from the coastline of Lower, from the Jurassic coastline. And at the top of the farm, we have an archaeological dig. That's where my favourite place is, and to try to understand the history of what's gone before. 2,000 years ago, there was upwards of 500 people living up there. It's quiet, it's very beautiful, and it's steeped in history. So metal detectors found some coins, and those coins are the Jura-Trege's coins, which can only be found in Dorset or South Wiltshire. And they wanted to pursue it a little bit further and asked if they could get in touch with Bournemouth University. So Bournemouth University have been doing the Jura-Trege's project, the Big Dig project, for the last 15 years. The research that's being found from the site is changing what we have believed for a long time. The coins would have been used for trade, very much like we do today, in that I need to sell my crop for the best price I can get to be able to continue next year. So behind me we've got spring barley for malting, and we have set up a little brew house called the Big Dig Brewery. But 2,000 years ago we have found evidence that they were brewing beer on the site. So the link becomes fascinating. Well, I'm hoping I'm going to live a few more years yet, but you never know what's around the corner. But yeah, my wish is that I am laid to rest up on my farm, maybe a stone chucked there so somebody can sit on top of me, and I'm up there with the Romans and the Iron Age people, enjoying life and maybe having a beer or two. I think farming is important to the UK and to Britain because we're passionate about what we do. We live in a beautiful part of the country, and farming, like Quango, it is a way of life. It isn't just about a business. It's about a whole family. It's about the generations over the year. It's about being a custodian of something that hopefully will be there for the next 2,000 years.